What up, sports fans? Waxon Wednesday, Jake Waxman, Todd Lavalette, two guys talk sports. Let's go. All right, so only a couple days before the NFL season starts, actually more so a week to go. And today I thought I'd talk about the Johnathan Taylor story that's been developing in Indianapolis. So Indy failed to get a deal done at the first of the trade deadlines. They were looking to trade Johnathan Allen after the owner, Jim Irsay, gave Johnathan Taylor permission to seek a trade, but unfortunately, the Colts could not find a deal that they wanted. They were hoping to get a first-round pick for him, but I think that goes back to a point I made in the previous video that, hey, running backs they're not going to get paid because their production is often dependent on the offensive line and whatnot. And I think that's what teams are afraid of. Once again, they don't want to pay for running backs, whether it's in money or in draft picks, actually. So I don't think anybody wants to give a first-round pick away for a running back that, who knows, could decline in a few years. So we'll see about that. It's a shame to see what's going on with Johnathan Taylor, as he has been valuable for the Indianapolis Colts. There's no question. And at first, I looked at kind of what was going on. He's been put on the PUP list because he's been dealing with an ankle injury from what I'm hearing. At first, I thought Indy put him on the PUP list because, A, they wanted to keep him around. But no, you can't. Just don't do that. So that's an exaggeration on my part. No, he's got an injury, so he'll be unavailable for the first 4 games. But it's a shame. I mean, on one hand, it's a shame that Johnathan Taylor wasn't able to get a deal done with the Colts or get a trade done with any of the other teams, but it's kind of understandable. Now, running backs are going to look at this and say, all right, it's going to be tough for us to make a big-time contract in the NFL because of what's going on. I mean, owners are very wary of the production of running backs falling off after the rookie contract. So, and same with whether it's through contracts or trades. Everybody's afraid of that. And that's what's going on with it. Johnathan Allen. It's difficult. I mean, it means he'll be in Indianapolis this year in the final year of his contract, of course. He's still going to get paid a good amount of money by running back standards. Now, what will happen after the season, that remains to be seen. But, hey, he'll help out Anthony Richardson a lot, the Colts' new quarterback. So, this could work out for Johnathan Allen. I mean, it could be a blessing in disguise. So, these are just some of my thoughts on the Johnathan Allen situation. Or not Allen, sorry guys, Johnathan Taylor. So many Jonathans in the NFL. I'm sorry, guys. So again, my final thought is, hey, sucks that they wasn't able to get a new deal or traded to another team, but teams are worried about what's going on with NFL running backs and the decline of the need for an NFL running back or a legend or a big time anchor. So for your running game. So just my thoughts there. All right. So guess what? Off-season's almost over. College football. It's already been back. Yep, I know that. But this weekend, every college football team is back, including my Boilermakers. So I'll narrow things down a bit. We're going to focus on the Big Ten. Big Ten football. And I'll give you guys my early predictions of how this season's going to go, starting with the Big Ten East. So you got that. That's the meat grinder of the conference, the East. You got Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State. I mean, those teams, it's going to be one of those 3 that's going to come out of the East. Although for me, it's between Ohio State and Michigan. I'm just not sure that Penn State's going to have a great season. No doubt about that. I just don't know that they have enough yet to challenge Ohio State and Michigan. Although I really like Drew Aller, their quarterback. I think he's going to be a great piece for that team. And down the road, he could help them a lot in getting over the hump. But right now, it looks like it's still Michigan's or Ohio State's East to lose. But what about the other teams, you might ask? Maryland, I think, is going to be very strong. They still got Talia Tagovailoa. He'll be there for his final season. I think the Terps will have another strong season, another bowl season. I see him finishing no lower than 4th in the conference. And then there's the rest. You got Rutgers, Indiana, and Michigan State. Michigan State, I'm still trying to figure out what happened last. I think they lost quite a bit more than I thought at first, which is why they had a real struggle last year. they could have a bowl run this year or win enough games to win a bowl. I could see that. Or they could have a difficult season. And then there's Rutgers and Indiana. We'll see how these two teams do. They got difficult schedules ahead, no question. All right, but finally, I will say this: that conference is going to come down to Michigan versus Ohio State, and for the third year in a row, I think Michigan takes the East. I think they win in Ann Arbor, and they take the Big Ten East. And then there's the wild, wild West, or the drunken West, because it's going to be wild once again. Like, there's just no clear favorite. And this time around, we got 3 teams in that conference. Three teams in the west side of the conference that have new coaches. Nebraska, Wisconsin, and the defending Big Ten West champion Purdue Boilermakers. That's right. They got, for those who have forgotten, Purdue has a new head coach for this season. And I'll explain more about that in a bit. So you got those 3. And then you got teams like Minnesota and Iowa who still have their coaches. So things are still kind of in system there, or in tune. So no big changes there. And Illinois, of course, third year under Brett Bielema. And then there's Northwestern, who is we'll see what we get out of Northwestern. They've had a difficult few seasons. And of course, Northwestern, they just fired Pat. You know what? I said 3 had new coaches. I was wrong. Sorry, scratch that. 4. Northwestern's the 4th one. Of course, they fired Pat Fitzgerald over the summer, and now they got an interim head coach. So we'll see who their official head coach will be next season. We won't find that out until after this season. So right now they got an interim head coach, and we'll see if Northwestern can salvage the situation there. It's going to be a difficult season, though, for Northwestern, I think. No doubts there. And so, with all that being said, really tough to call. Really tough to call. I'm going to roll with Iowa. They still, Kirk Ferentz, consistent winner in the Big Ten, and you got a new quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, like the transfer from Michigan. I think he's going to help out that offense a lot. I don't know how many more points they'll score, but that defense is strong, and defense helps you win games in the Big Ten. So I'm going to go with Iowa winning the Big Ten West, followed closely by teams like Wisconsin and Minnesota. I think Wisconsin's going to be really strong with Luke Fickell at the helm. I think there's some good talent in that Wisconsin team. And I think they'll be strong under first-year coach Luke Fickell. But we'll see how it happens. So it's going to be Iowa versus Michigan in the Big Ten Championship, and I got Michigan winning the Big Ten Championship. So Big Ten predictions. And we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what else happens. But for the worst record, it'll be close between Indiana, and for the Big Ten's worst record, it'll be close between Indiana, Rutgers, and Northwestern. I think Northwestern, though. I mean, they got a lot of rebuilding to do there, especially after the whole situation with Pat Fitzgerald. It's a lot to do there. So, just my thoughts on the Big Ten football season. That's what I think is going to happen. Those are my predictions for the Big Ten football season. And now, finally, all right, I'm going to get to the Purdue Boilermakers. You guys, that's my team, for those who don't know. And I will say this. I'm going to start positively. There's a lot to look forward to. New head coach in Ryan Walters. I think he brings a lot of energy to the table. I mean, bringing a lot of good vibes. Got that campus rolling. Got that football team rolling right now. They're energetic. The energy is there. There's no question right now about that. Between the fans and the alumni and the football team, lots of energy. We're excited about the season. Now, that being said, we haven't seen him coach a game yet, and this will be his first season. Not only as the Purdue football coach, but I think this will be his first season as a college football head coach. So this will be his real first season. And it's not going to be easy. I can tell you guys that much. It will not be easy. And he's got a tough opponent to open things up in Fresno State from the Mountain West. They're a good team. They're riding a 9-game winning streak. So tough test for Purdue to begin the season. No doubt about that. And a lot of things that changed. Of course, Purdue, a lot of important pieces that graduated last year. So I got questions about the secondary. we lost our best corner in Jamari Brown, who withdrew from the program. No one knows exactly why, but he may be hitting the transfer portal immediately. So that definitely hurts, especially on defense. And then we got, of course, wide receivers. While we got good wide receivers, I have questions about whether or not we can have one that will step up enough to help out. You got guys like Marshawn Rice, TJ Sheffield, Deion Burks. That could be a potential breakout candidate. Question is, who's going to be the best wide receiver this season? So I got some concerns there. And I'll also say, I'm not too concerned about the quarterback situation. Purdue definitely they've already got their starter, Hudson Card, the transfer from Texas. He'll be the starter, no doubt. He's distanced himself from the rest of Purdue's quarterback room. The problem is, excuse me, he doesn't have a whole lot of experience. So there'll definitely be some learning curves in this first season. But he's got a lot of potential at the same time. And another thing that's going to really help Hudson Card is he's got Devin Mockabee as his running back. I'm not too concerned about the running game this year because Maccabee's leading the way. And they have other backs too, like Dylan Downing, who will be a solid backup. But the running game should help Hudson Card out a lot, and especially Graham Harrell, the offensive coordinator. So a lot of questions, also a lot of potential too. So with that being said, and also you got a loaded schedule this year. I mean, it's going to be tough. And in addition to having a new coach who was the defensive coordinator last year at Illinois. So it'll be interesting to see also, by the way, how the Fighting Illini do without Ryan Walters, who was their defensive coordinator last year. This year, he's Purdue's head coach now. So, with all that being said, I think this is going to be a bit of a rebuilding season for Purdue. I do not see him making a bowl game this year. I'm going to go with a 5-7 season. I think the Boilermakers will win 5 games and lose 7. I think they'll be competitive, but with that tough schedule and a lot of new pieces and a whole new system in place built by Ryan Walters, it's going to take time to build this team up. So this season will be a bit of a rebuild and a setback season, but hey, better to build for the future than when it comes to football, you're always trying to build for the future, especially when you're a team that I don't expect this team to repeat as Big Ten West champions. I knew that even with Jeff Brom, if Jeff Brom had come back, this probably would have been a rebuild season, even with Jeff Brom coming back. Of course, he's in Louisville now. He returned to his alma mater. He'll be coaching the Louisville Cardinals. So, Jeff Brom or not, I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be a rebuild season. Ryan Walters will have his work cut out for him. But I do think he has some pieces to make some splashes along the way. I could see him, if Purdue can win all 3 of their conference games or the non-conference games, which unfortunately I don't think is going to happen, then they'll have a good chance to get a bowl game. But if not, then it's going to be a tough uphill battle from there. So, but with all that being said, with all these things said, I predict Purdue will go 5-7 in 2023. It'll be a rebuilding season for the Purdue Boilermakers. There'll be some highlights and some bright spots, and there'll definitely be some lowlights, unfortunately. But, hey, that's part of a rebuilding season. But to the Boilermakers and to Ryan Walters, I say this. You are more than welcome to surprise me, because I do love surprise. Especially pleasantly. They are what you Boilermakers, you're welcome to surprise me and overachieve. I love it when Purdue overachieves. And hopefully I'm wrong and they overachieve, but I'm thinking 5-7. Considering the loaded schedule, all the new pieces in place, and just a lot of other factors as well. So that's my prediction on the Purdue Boilermakers 2023 football season. All right. Anyway, on to this day in sports history. And on this day, let's see if I can find a good one for you guys. And on this day, okay, I got one. Sorry, guys. the 30th of August, 1972. So this will be the Munich Olympics. Amidst Olga Korbut mania at the Munich Olympics. And Olga Korbut, she was a good gymnast for the Russians. Soviet teammate Lyudmila Torshiva wins the gymnastics individual all-around competition, her second gold medal of the game. All right. So, all right, sports fans. Those are some of my predictions for the Big Ten college football season, as well as my Purdue Boilermakers. So, thanks for watching this week's Wax on Wednesday. Jake Waxman from Two Guys Talk Sports, signing off.